Max Scherzer, again, this is the puzzling timeline over the last few years as he's gotten into his late 30s. 2019, remember he got scratched in the start, and that was like hours before the game. I was at that game. It was a craziness in Washington. Neck spasms eventually did come out after getting a cortisone shot and pitched in Game 7, went 5 innings. So he pitched admirably there. And then in 2021, though, they used him on a save on a day's rest, brought him out of the bullpen. Then he was scratched from the start. This is with the Dodgers, and then did not come back. They were desperate for a Scherzer start, didn't get it. And then 2022 season, missed 8 weeks with an oblique, side injuries. And remember, down the stretch, had a very good season with the Mets, but then blew up, did not pitch well against the Braves, and got blown up his worst start of the year against the Padres in the playoffs. So that brings us nearly to today. And Max Scherzer, who hasn't pitched since mid-September, Joel Sherman is there for us. Joel, thanks for joining us today. Good to see you.
Good to see you, BK.
Give me something on Scherzer, having seen that. Like, it's kind of the aging warrior, but he's having trouble, like, towing the line over the last few years.
Well, what comes to mind is that he's necessary. The Rangers are doing great in these postseasons. The schedule has worked to their favor. The games have worked to their favor. They're 7-0. They've only used 7 pitchers to go 7-0. 6 of the games have been started by Montgomery and Eovaldi, who have been great. And I was looking at 55 2/3 of the 63 innings of this postseason have been thrown by those 2 guys and the 3 main relievers, Chapman, Sborz, and Leclerc. Starting today, if you're thinking about how does Houston get back into this series, well, the Rangers are going to have to start using other pitchers, and it starts with Scherzer. I talked to him the other day, and he said, what's the translation for a 68-pitch simulated game to a postseason game? That's what he did on Saturday. He hasn't pitched since the middle of September. What can he give? Every out will be precious today because guys who haven't pitched a lot are going to probably be in this game. Maybe John Gray, who also hasn't pitched in a long time because he was hurt. Martin Perez, Brock Burke. These guys have not pitched a lot. Bradford. He can't just use Bruce Bochy can't just keep using the same 3 guys over and over again in the bullpen, especially because there will be a gulf. Even if Scherzer gives him great, what is that, 4 innings or 5 innings? There's going to be a lot of outs for guys who haven't pitched a lot in this postseason or at all to get tonight.
It is surprising. We're looking at the numbers now. Dane Dunning led them in innings this year. Well, like last year, it's like 172 innings, 3.70 ERA, can't quite get a crack. And it brings to what you're saying. I call it the circle of trust, right? And Bruce Bochy does have a circle of trust. Had one in San Francisco, but it's kind of tight right now. 3 guys make up the A squad. So you're saying, does that open up, especially given Joel, every time I'm looking at Aroldis Chapman, I'm waiting for it to fall apart. It seems like it's ready to happen, hasn't. Your thoughts on the circle of trust?
Yeah, it feels like a 2.5-person circle of trust because Sborz and Leclerc have been dynamite, and Chapman has gotten jobs done but been shaky, including giving up a bomb to Alvarez in Game 2. But if I were just going through this, the last time that somebody pitched who wasn't those main 5 guys was October 8th, right? Bradford and Burke got into the game. Right? You keep going back. Heaney started Game 1 of the division series. That was October 7th, right? That's the last time we saw Will Smith in a game also. You keep going back and back to see where these guys, Martin Perez hasn't pitched since the last day of the regular season on October 1st. Again, I suspect even if Scherzer could give them a lot tonight, a lot is what? 9 outs, 12 outs, 15 outs. It's not going to be enough to just get the ball to Chapman or get the ball to Sborz. Other people are going to have to pitch today. If I were the Astros, I believe in 2 things. I've played great on the road this year, and we're going to see some pitchers who haven't pitched in the postseason or haven't pitched a lot. That's their road back into this series.
Joel, you and I on the show, well put, by the way, you and I on the show talk a lot about the dangers of the big money free agent, like the super aircraft carrier. And Corey Seager, Marcus Simeon, they are definitely those guys. We threw this up yesterday with Jacob deGrom, and that has not worked out as of yet. They've got nearly 45% of their payroll wrapped up in 3 players. That's kind of a volatile situation normally, not the normal method to success. And yet, like Seager and Simeon, I mean, it looks good as of now. Like what it means 7 years down the road, I don't know. But right now, your thoughts on those signings?
Well, those guys cost $500 million in an investment to put together a middle infield. And I talked to Chris Young yesterday about those two guys in general, but Simeon in specific, because Simeon is so interesting to me. In the last 5 full seasons, 162-game seasons, he's played 159, 161, 162, 162, and 162 games. His durability is fantastic. And Chris Young said the durability was part of the reason he was willing to go to that 7 years and $175 million with this player. Because not only would it mean he'd be on the field, but it would mean something to the rest of the young players here about accountability and responsibility to be able to get on a field when you're nicked. We do a lot of load management these days, and I always wonder, are we telling players they're tired and they go, yeah, I guess I'm tired then if you tell me that. I think the key thing, we talk about this a lot on your show, BK, where I've often said, when you take a player off the field, if you want to do true wins above replacement, true WAR, you should subtract what his replacement has to do. You know what Bruce Bochy hasn't had to think about once this year? Who's leading off and playing second base? That's been Marcus Simeon 162 times this year. Bruce Bochy has a lot of things to worry about. That's not one of them.
Well put. No, the reliability is vital. Last year, even when Simeon got off to a poor start hitting-wise, but I remember checking his WAR in the middle of the year, or three quarters through, and it was like a 4 or 5 win player. And I'm like, how can that be? Well, he plays every single day. He defends. He runs. That alone can get you through. Now that he's hitting, he hit much better this year. Now he's playing like a superstar. Joel Sherman again in Texas. Joel, thanks for joining us today. We'll see you in the World Series.
Okay, BK, thanks for having me on.